Hey there, welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining me. Bit of an early start today. Something slightly different. I'm going to meet another YouTuber. He's a business owner and the biggest YouTuber in his industry. So making the journey to go and see him, get an interview for the podcast, find out a bit more about his business, find out a bit more about how he's grown his YouTube channel and social media. Hopefully pick up some tips as well along the way. So let's go. Okay, here we are. Looks like I'm in the right place. It's the Artisan Electric transporter. It's here. And the new electric Vauxhall Vivaro as well. So let's see if we can find Jordan. I'm really excited today to have a very special guest with me. It is the one and only Mr. Jordan Farley. Thanks for joining me on the podcast, Jordan.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. It's nice to be here. It's nice to meet you in person.
And I'm really excited to have you on the podcast because you're a big YouTuber and you're also run your own business. You're an electrician. So what are you doing on the AM Exterior Cleaning podcast? This is the question.
I ask myself that every day.
Well, perhaps I should explain, because in the exterior cleaning industry, I like to kind of keep an eye on what certain other people are doing in other industries to kind of pick up tips as well that maybe I can apply in my business or in what I do in social media. So I was really excited to get some tips and advice from you, really, and hear your story and how you've done things. But before we start, I have a little present for you.
Oh, cool. I like presents.
Everyone who comes on the podcast gets a very special...
Oh, wow. Limited edition. Mark. Look at that. Fantastic. Oh, thank you.
There we go.
That's awesome. I can officially say that I've been on the podcast and I've got the mug now. Yeah.
And we're here in your special custom-built sort of YouTube studio area.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so we've sort of rigged this thing up. Basically just a load of sort of pallet wood shoved together and painted. But it's enabled us to make some quite slick looking studio based videos for the YouTube channel, which has been quite cool.
It does look really smart. And the one thing I noticed behind us, we have the silver YouTube play button.
Yeah, this is my...
They're a pride of place.
It is my pride and joy, that, yeah, it is. Have you ever actually held one in your hands?
I haven't.
Okay, let me just honour you with the few seconds of holding.
Oh, wow. It's a bit of weight to it, isn't it? Look at that.
Yeah, it is, but it's kind of like... It's not... Like, when you actually feel it, you're like, oh, it doesn't actually feel it. It's not like... made of solid gold or anything like that. But it's what it represents, which really for me means so much. It's just a heck of a lot of hard work and years of sort of blood, sweat and tears to get to that 100k mark. Yeah. So it's that, really. There you go, back on the wall before I drop it.
So you are a business owner. Mm-hmm. You are a YouTuber, and you only work part-time.
Yeah.
So how do you do it? This is what we want to know.
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose officially I work part-time, as in I work certain days I take off to do volunteer work and stuff. But the days when I do work, I probably work full-time, like a full-time number of hours, I would say.
So tell us, Jordan, a bit about your story then.
When I started that business, I started all the social media platforms, as you do.
Okay.
And a YouTube channel was part of that. Didn't really think much more about it.
So did you do that as a conscious way of, this is how I'm going to advertise the business, or...
No.
Talk us through that thought process.
It was more just like claiming my name on various platforms, you know. So when I decided the name Artisan Electrics, I was like, right, I've got to, you know, get the website name booked out, and then claim my name on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
And that was it, really.
You do the filming yourself. You're still a small business at this stage?
Yeah, I mean, I was a one-man band when I started it up, and still working part-time. And then I was just filming it on my phone, you know, and just editing it on iMovie on my computer in the evenings and just doing all that myself. And then one day, I think one or two of the videos just started to get a lot more views. And there was a lot of comments from other electricians saying, oh, it's really interesting, you know, can you share more videos like this?
Okay.
So that kind of motivated me to post a few more.
Yeah.
And it sort of snowballed from there, really. I was able to share some little tips and tricks with people, and then they would leave in the comments like, oh, I wouldn't have done it like this, I would have done it like that, and you can learn from the comments. So you've got this feedback loop, really. You're sharing your tips and tricks, and you're learning from the videos as well by people's comments.
Yeah.
That was really interesting. So my base audience grew from that, really, but like up to sort of about 50,000 subscribers. Really, it was mostly electricians.
Yeah.
And then we branched out into electric vehicle charging points, and we did a lot of stuff around that on the channel. And that's when probably the audience broadened a lot to also consumers, people who are looking to learn about, you know, how do I get an electric vehicle charging point installed and things like that. So we got a few videos that we specifically made. I just shared my journey, really. It wasn't, again, it wasn't really conscious. It was like, I remember doing the course on how to install electric vehicle charging points, and it was when it had just become a thing, you know. It's like I just shared my experience of doing the course, and then my first EV charging installation, I was like, oh, I'll share a video about that, you know. Because it was so new and interesting. I thought, you know, this is something a bit different, and I just shared the whole journey, really, as we started to use different charging points and different testers and techniques. Just shared it, and that was the way it really kind of snowballed.
So the way social media has progressed, and you can now use that to support even boost your business. Would you say that that's a useful tool that people should use?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a no-brainer, really, now. Like, you need to be on social media if you've got a business, because it does bring in new clients, and it's a way of showcasing your brand and what you do to an audience. So it's massively important. I mean, now we get about half of our work comes through YouTube.
Oh, really?
Which is just nuts, you know, and it's why we've been able to grow the business so much. It's grown from like 2 years ago, it was just me, to now we've got a team of 15 employees, 2 subcontractors. A whole media team. It's like, it's gone nuts, but it's because of YouTube, really, that we've had such rapid growth.
At what point do you get to the stage where you're like, okay, I'm going to get someone else doing some filming for me, I'll get someone else doing some editing for me, or someone else on the accounts, someone else doing... When do you start delegating those things?
I think it's sort of, for me, it was when it got to a point where it was a necessity, because my business would suffer if I didn't. So, like, for example, the first employee that I took on was an electrician it was just because I couldn't keep up with the volume of work that was coming in. I couldn't do it all myself, so I was ending up saying to people, sorry, I'm booked for 4 or 5 months, you know. Just didn't make sense. You end up turning down work. So I thought, okay, get another electrician to help. And then the next person was an admin person. So that was just because my inbox was just so flooded with inquiries. I was just my admin just fell to pieces because it was only me who's dealing with it. I just couldn't keep up with it.
Was this a tough call to make? Because it's like, well, if I employ someone to do that, can I really afford to pay them? Are they worth their weight? You know, what you're paying them? Yeah,
it is a difficult one, because there's that sort of tipping point where, like, you've got you get stuck. You're like, okay, I'm doing it all myself at the moment, which is great because I don't have to pay anyone to do it. So all the profit kind of goes to me. But at the same time, I am suffering in certain ways because I'm overworked, or my business is suffering because I can't physically keep up with everything. So you've got to, at some point, take an initial slight hit on your profit margins just to be able to relieve yourself. But then that's when you really grow. You start to grow, you know, and it's just changing your mentality from a one-man band mentality to, I'm going to grow a business now.
How do you manage the YouTube channel then with all these, with your real business going on and those kind of things?
Yeah, I mean, we've got the media team, which is social media manager, editor and cameraman.
Okay.
And really the social media manager now, he deals with a lot of the day-to-day running of the media side of the business, the YouTube channel and all that. So I can just focus on running the electrical business and being in the YouTube videos and kind of, you know, managing that side of things, but not necessarily having to do all the day-to-day stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.5 days a week the cameraman is.
Okay.
So I mean, we post 3 videos a week on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
So
that's quite a bit, isn't it? Actually?
Yeah. So we do Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
6 p.m. And then we post like little extra bits, and then we're filming content for Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff as well.
So this
tricky.
So the YouTube thing and the social media thing, it has become not just something that supports your electrical business, but like you mentioned there, it's become almost a business all of its own.
Yeah. I mean, it employs 3 people, and it makes money. So it's a weird one because the two businesses, I call it sort of 2 businesses. It is one business, but they're 2 different sides to the business, and they both feed into each other.
So one can't exist without the other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we need to be doing the electrical work to be able to film it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the YouTube side generates a lot of work, for the electrical side. So a lot of our customers now, they'll see us on YouTube. They'll be like, oh, I really like the way that you guys work. You work really neat. I like the way that you guys present themselves. They're friendly and polite and all that.
Yeah.
And so when they phone us, they already know, like, and trust us because they've been watching us on YouTube.
Yeah,
and it's just
definitely.
like, I want you to do my charging point. When can you come? How much is it going to cost?
Yeah. So it's an important part of your business image, isn't it? It's promoting your business image and how you work and, like you say, how polite, and you want those kind of people round your home, working on your home, or a customer does, and it promotes all of that, doesn't it?
And it's a great way to reach the right type of customers that you want as well, because marketing can be tricky from a point of view of you've got a target customer in your head, and how do you reach that target customer, and how do you avoid the customers that you don't really want, the ones who just want a cheap price but don't necessarily want a good service.
Yeah.
So doing it on YouTube, the way we present ourselves, has enabled us to reach the kind of customers who do a lot of research. They're very picky about who they want in their house. They want a high standard of work, and they're not necessarily focused so much on having it the cheapest job possible, but they want the best job possible.
Yeah.
Which is what we're always aiming for.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. So what kind of things then in the YouTube side of things generate revenue? Is it just from the views on their own, or are there other things that you do to generate a bit of revenue as well?
Yeah, so we've got various revenue streams. Obviously, the basic one is the YouTube ad revenue. So that is per 1,000 views, you get a certain amount of money for every 1,000 views you get on a video, based on the adverts that YouTube plays. We get 1 million views a month on the channel. So I think even it's gone up. It's like about 1.2 million in the last 28 days.
Right.
So that generates a decent amount of revenue just from the adverts that YouTube plays in the videos, and you get 50% of what they take, basically. So
you've got a strict schedule then of what you're trying to schedule in to be released on a regular basis, haven't you? You've got a lot of content.
Yeah, and it gets more complicated when you grow, because like when it was just me, I was filming it on my phone, and it was like, okay, if I miss an upload, it's not the end of the world or whatever. Now it's like, the channel is supporting a lot of people's livelihoods, so you don't want to miss an episode, and so you've got to plan things like when somebody's on holiday, like when the cameraman's on holiday, what are we going to do? So we're going to need to have enough content in the bank that we can still keep putting out these videos. So we've got like about 3 or 4 week bank now of videos that are already made, ready to go, that we can just launch, which means that if I go on holiday or one of the other guys goes on holiday, we're not like scratching around for content or stuff.
So then what other things do you do that also generate revenue for the channel? So
we've got a lot of sponsors now who we work with who, they see our channel. We have a niche audience. A bit like yourself, probably got a lot of window cleaners who watch your videos. We've got a niche audience of electricians and people who are interested in electrics and electric vehicle charging and stuff. So we're able to promote products that we genuinely like to our audience. Yeah, we've just got a price list that we send. So we've got like a media pack that we send out to potential sponsors, where we tell them what our pricing is and what we can do for the various, depending on what their budget is and stuff.
Okay.
And then we usually ask them to send us product first, so that we can try it out, make sure that we're happy with it before we do any kind of promotion. And that generates a lot of revenue. That actually generates more than the YouTube ad revenue.
Really?
And I view it then as adding value to my audience, because I'm sharing a genuinely great product with them that they might not have heard about, rather than just them being sold something. You know?
Yeah. And now even your vehicles are part of that promotional
Yeah, we've got
drive.
I'll show you outside actually afterwards. There's a Vauxhall Vivaro E that we've got, that Vauxhall contacted us and said, can you do a review video of this new electric van that we've got? So we've got that at the moment, been trying that out for a month or so. And
is that on borrow kind of? Is it one of those?
Yeah, they're just lending it to us. They wouldn't give us the van for free. As in, here you go. Here's
that would be a good one,
wouldn't
it?
Yeah, 50 grand van. Yeah, we're not quite there yet, but one day.
You now also have paid content that people can download. You mentioned a bit about that. You're supporting electricians in that way.
Yeah. So I think because of all that I've learnt from a business point of view and all the ups and downs that I've had, I've learnt a lot of lessons that I thought would be valuable to share with people who are going through a similar journey. Also, people can buy the course and then they can watch it over and over again and refer back to different lessons, just to get all the kind of information that they need on how to start and run an electrical business. And it's been good. Yeah,
I love that idea. So they can benefit from your years of experience, your journey, and everything you're applying now, and you've put that into a course that they can just download and use, and so you're becoming a part of their journey almost. It's like that's a nice thing to be able to give back in that way.
Yeah, and it's a weird one, because some people say, but you're basically training the competition, and that doesn't make any sense. But what I've realised with social media in general is the more value you give to other people, the more you get back yourself in the end. And just giving valuable content to people, they'll come back and they'll keep watching you, and so it's always worth it in the long run.
Do you have any advice then for someone maybe starting out in their business, or someone who maybe already has a business who's looking to promote their business a bit more?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say if you're starting a business, go niche and don't compete on price, compete on quality, because there'll always be someone who'll be willing to undercut you on price. But if you set a high quality standard, other people will struggle to compete with that, and that's the way to grow a successful business. Okay.
What you're talking about really is added value to your business and quality service.
Absolutely, yeah, and there's two facets to it. There's doing a good job, and there's also the customer service side of things. You need to have both. So do a great job, work to a high quality standard, but also in the way that you deal with customers, have that 5-star customer service. That's the recipe for great business.
Okay. And is that something you've tried to do consciously, is maybe generate customer reviews online as well? That kind of thing helps?
Yeah, that's been really key actually to us growing, especially at the start before YouTube became a big thing, was just getting loads of great reviews on Google and on the other platforms, because people now, if they're looking for a business to do work for them, they always check reviews online. Conscientious buyers. It's like if I'm going to a restaurant or whatever, I always check on TripAdvisor to see what the reviews are like. And it's the same now for trades, electricians or window cleaners, whoever it might be. People want to know what they're getting, and a good way to do that is to check the reviews.
Yeah, definitely. And I think sometimes people forget that, when you start a business, it almost goes without saying, you get a website. But all of that other content that you generate, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, it's all online.
Yeah.
And Google will associate all of those things together almost. So it generates more of a presence online, all those things together. And if you are generating more of a presence than your competitors in your local area, that can actually help you, can't it?
Yeah, that's it. Google's all about authority. So it looks at everything that you do, not just, people think, if I get a website, I'll get found. You won't get found by just making a website. You need to have an online presence in general. And for us, like, the YouTube thing has helped with our Google rankings massively, because Google owns YouTube.
Yeah.
So the two platforms feed into each other.
Yeah. Brilliant. So thanks for sharing those things. But it's really interesting to hear your journey and how you've put those things into practice. So I can't go without getting a good look at the old electric transporter.
Yeah.
Very, very smart. Look at the two transporters next to each other. Here we go.
Got the fancy racking in the back. Like, we've got these incredibly large drawers.
Wow, there's a ladder in there and everything.
Yeah, so it's quite cool. Yeah, just like you can fit tons of stuff in there, and then you've got like little drawers here with various tools and fixings and things. I still need to label it all up properly, like.
Oh, so organised.
Well, yeah, I know. I would be more organised, but I don't. I'm not on the tools really enough anymore to kind of be obsessed with labelling stuff up. But
so as an electric vehicle, have you had some issues with it? I think.
Oh, it's a nightmare. It's only got 50 miles of range on it.
50?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's
really?
terrible. Yeah. So this is like, it's not actually. You can't really work out of it. Actually, yeah. I do know a London window cleaner who's got this van, who reached out to me, and he said it's good because he just does very local rounds. He's like, you know, driving 3 doors down, doing another house 3 doors down. Then it's probably suitable, but for an electrician, usually you're driving quite a lot, which is not really doable. So I just commute to the office and back with it most of the time.
But it's a good advert, isn't it, in itself?
Yeah. I'll show you on the side. I mean, it's not that much to see, but it's pretty spacious. Got the drawers again on this. That go all the way across.
So you've got a false floor similar to what I've got in my van, actually.
Yeah. Costs a small fortune to get it done, but it is nice.
Yeah.
It's like an expensive storing unit.
This is what you've recently been trying out from Vauxhall?
Yeah. So they so cool, like
the
electric sliding doors. But yeah, this is basically just it is a proper electric van in terms of it's got like 205 miles of range.
Okay.
And it's really nice actually to drive. It's pretty nippy, and it's definitely workable. Like, I think, especially actually if you're, you know, a window cleaner and you're not doing huge amounts of travelling, could be quite a good option, because it's obviously just so cheap to run.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm enjoying using this. I've not used it fully loaded yet, but
that's what I was going to say, because it's not loaded up. You find you get the range out of it that you.
It says 205. I think real world is probably about 180. But then if you load it up fully, it's probably going to be down to about 150 maybe. But still, you know, that's doable on a normal working day, I guess, for most people, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as you're not doing big commutes.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is bringing electric vans into, you know, an achievable real world kind of range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a long wheelbase, I think, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But they do the same battery in a short wheelbase version as well.
Okay.
I prefer short wheelbase vans. I feel like long wheelbase is just slightly too long for me. It just makes it a bit more tricky to manoeuvre.
In and out of people's driveways, down tight lanes, things like that. I'm the same. Yeah, I prefer a short one.
So show me yours.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm afraid you have to open the door with your hand manually. And
so old school.
I hadn't tidied it up really, ready to show you, but it's because my tank, I've got the water tank 650 litres underneath.
Yeah, wow. That's good though, because it gives you more workable space inside, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I've got the false floor on top, which means I've got some ramps, so I can load the pressure washer up. And then all my working pressure washing stuff kind of comes out the side. Then my water fed pole window cleaning stuff is out the back.
Cool.
So I have the tank and filters are all inside here.
Yeah.
So it just fills up in the evening, fills up with water, with clean water. I use it during the day.
Nice.
And I've got
the high-vis pipes as well.
High-vis hose, electric hose reel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so it reels in automatically.
Oh, that's nice.
Ah, impressed now, aren't you?
Fancy, yeah, very impressive. Yeah.
And too many poles and brushes than I really need.
Yeah.
But yeah, it works. So it's
I
good.
did think of becoming a window cleaner once, when I realised all the window cleaners I knew were earning more money than I was as an electrician. I was like, there's something wrong about this. But then I just decided to put my prices up instead.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's cool.
Thanks for having me to your office and showing me your YouTube studio.
It's a pleasure. It's been fun. Yeah,
Fantastic. And maybe we'll catch up again sometime.
definitely.
Take care. Really nice to meet Jordan and see what he's doing in his business. What a really lovely guy. And it's really great to see some of the things that he's doing in his business with social media as well. Pick up some tips from him. So that was really good. Obviously, you can see loads more of that over on the Artisan Electrics YouTube channel. Check out his social media as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. Hope you found it useful. And I'll catch up with you guys again very soon. Take care.